What is up, y'all? This is Chopping It Up with Motu. This is our community edition next episode. Super excited. Well, today we have the man, the myth, the legend from 2A Customs. Thank you for coming.
Thank you, Motu.
Introduce yourself.
My name is Brian White.
Stop. Just fine. Go ahead.
2A Custom Creations.
Does 2A stand for Second Amendment?
2A 100% stands for Second Amendment.
We're gonna enter an applause moment right there.
Funny story about it is, like, I would tell people that I thought were very anti-gun.
Yeah.
And they'd say, well, hey, what's 2A stand for? And I'm like, oh, Ada County, right? You know who called me on it? My mom. My mom was like, Ada County is 1A.
Yeah, exactly. That shit don't work.
No, it don't work.
So, I know you got a backstory. I know you served. Thank you again for your service.
Thank you.
So, before we get into like the creation of 2A Customs and you being an entrepreneur, let's go back in time.
Okay.
Right? To why did you join the military?
So, interestingly enough, I think I'm going to kind of sidetrack a little, but one of the things that really has been appealing about our relationship, right? 2A, drip drop, yours and mine, is kind of the second chance.
That's very cute.
Right?
Yeah, our relationship. I like
You like
that.
that? Yeah.
I thought when you said our, like it was you and your wife, and I was like,
No,
okay.
no,
All right.
ours.
Okay, go ahead.
It's kind of like the second chance stuff, right?
Oh, yeah.
And so when I was 16, I may or may not have gotten arrested for trafficking.
Allegedly?
Allegedly.
All right.
Trafficking illegal substances on school property.
Allegedly. Wait,
And
it's only allegedly if you didn't get caught. Did you get caught?
so I got arrested,
Okay.
but
You had no dope on you or nothing?
well, they didn't search me.
Oh, you lucky.
I was so lucky.
Ooh, you lucky.
So I got expelled from school.
Okay.
My family is a well-known family in the little town I'm from. I mean, baseball fields are called White Field after my family.
Yeah.
So the chief of police showed up at my house one day and was like, hey, I heard you want to join the military. I said, I did.
Yeah.
Right, but not with this charge. So he
All
said,
right.
well, call me within a half hour from a recruiter's office and I'll make it all disappear.
Ooh.
So I drove down to the Air Force recruiter's office and I said, hey, man, I want to join the Air Force. He's like, how old are you? 16. Well, you can't join. He's like, and you haven't graduated. I said, listen, I got to call the chief of police.
I got to hook up, homie. Hold on.
So I called the police chief.
Right.
He made it all disappear. And I ended up having to interview, went to the alternative program, graduated from the alternative program a year early.
Well, you wanted to join the military and of course in trouble and you got all this stuff, but like, did you want to join the military just to get out of trouble? Or did you want to join the military because you want to serve the country?
No, so my grandfather was a big part in raising me.
Okay.
They called him Mr. Zilla, right, in this little town that we're from. But my grandfather served in Korea.
Godzilla?
There's the Church of Godzilla.
Oh, in your town?
In my town, yeah.
Next to the white field?
Yep. Actually, it is on the same road. But, and so my grandfather raised me like, you serve your community, you serve your country.
Yeah.
Right? So
100%.
like community days, I put out all the flags downtown. My family set up and ran the community day parade every year. Ooh. That kind of stuff, right? And so like from the time I was a kid, I knew where I was going, right?
Yep. Man, that's crazy. My grandfather, like, because I'm a first generation born American, right? And so my grandpa, when he brought my mom, and right, there's a crazy story about how my family ended up. My mom's side of the family ended up in America. But one of the things was that he said was the greatest gift I will ever give my grandkids is them being Americans. Right? There's nothing greater you could have done. Because, you know, if I was born in Tonga or born in Samoa, it's still a monarchy, but it's still a third world country, right? And there's just not a lot of opportunities. So it's listen, I wish I had the opportunity where a police chief liked me enough to get me into the military.
Oh, for sure.
But I didn't have a police chief that liked me. They wanted to arrest me, and they did.
Yeah.
And so, dude, and that's very rare these days,
right?
The opportunity to like hey, you're a freaking troublemaker. We're going to go and put a gun in your hands and you can serve our country.
Right.
Like, they don't do it like that no more. And I wish they did.
Well, I was super fortunate being in a small town.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I actually wish that they would put, it probably will never happen. I know it won't. But especially here in Idaho, we have so many people incarcerated.
Oh, yeah. It's nuts.
I'm like, bro, let them go serve our country.
I agree.
You know what I'm saying? Hey, you can either serve out your 10 years or you can go serve 10 years in the military.
Right.
Like,
Yeah,
sign me up, homie.
Yeah,
Sign me
I
up.
think it's a great opportunity.
Ship me to Afghanistan. I am in.
For sure.
But yeah, I never got that opportunity. Well, I take that back. So I did. I had an opportunity to join the Marines, and the judge was like, yo, listen, you have way too many felonies as a minor.
Yep.
And I was like, yeah, I got you. He was like, I need to expunge your record. So go join the Marines or go to the recruiting office. And if they say yes, and you do, like I did good on the ASVAB, I did everything.
Right.
The problem was I caught another felony. And the judge was like, oh,
Yeah, you're
you
not
ain't
supposed to
going to
do
learn. You ain't going to learn. You ain't going to learn.
Right. Yeah, yeah.
So
No.
small town living.
Yep.
Grandpa, amazing in being a pillar in the family, gets you to the point where no matter what, you're going to join the military, serve our country, serve your community.
Right.
Right.
He did
So-
tell me never the Army. Right.
What's wrong with the Army?
Well, he served in the Army.
Have you
And
have you met my boy Isaac
Of
Belden?
course I have. And if Isaac had been smarter, and I bet you he would tell you,
Oh,
he'd have joined the Air
Isaac.
Force.
So I call him my older brother, but he's actually my uncle. He served in the Air Force. A lot of my family served in the Air Force. So, you know what I'm saying? It's a thing, Isaac.
It is a thing.
It's a thing.
It is a thing.
Okay, my bad. Back to your story.
That's all good.
So, decided to join the military, go to the Air Force. What'd you do then? Well, what did you enlist as?
So I joined at 17. Like I
Okay.
turned 17. 3 days later, I processed MEPS the first time. And then I think it was 2 months after that, I shipped for the Air Force. And I was actually in tech school September 11th.
Oh, no way.
Yeah. And so like
Wait a minute. How old were you? 18?
17.
Oh, damn. You know where I was at when that all happened?
What?
I was in, I had just got expelled, and I had to go to an alternative school. It was Eagle Academy was the alternative school.
Okay.
And I just got to school, sat down, and the TVs came out.
It was a trip, man. I was in school to be a B-52 bomber crew chief, right? And I was on night shift. And so like we had marched back to where we stay, right? And I walk in to CQ and they're like, hey, everybody's got to stay here. I was like, what do you mean? Like my room's right there.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, nope. They're watching us on satellites. It was crazy. Like,
Dude, it's got to be crazy to be in that situation knowing that we're going to freaking war.
oh yeah.
Like,
Well,
it's,
and then
it's happening.
bro, and they were telling us like, hey, who's the B-52 guys, right? Like you guys are gonna graduate
Yeah,
early.
buckle up.
You guys are out, right? Oh, by the way, President Bush is on his way right now to Barksdale Air Force Base, Shreveport, Louisiana,
Shreveport.
to address the nation, right? Well, we all had orders there,
Right.
because that's where B-52s are at. That's why he went there.
Funny story about B-52 bombers. So before my parents got divorced, they got divorced, we lived in Lancaster, Palmdale, and there's a facility out in like Palmdale where the B-52 bombers were built. Mm-hmm. My stepmom's brother was one of the engineers. My bad, back to your story.
No. Yeah,
I'm just dropping tidbits on this podcast. I'm just telling you, I know some people.
Yeah. So it was crazy, right? Like that was the day that everything changed, right?
yeah.
I joined in peacetime. You know what I mean?
Which is crazy because like during Isaac's podcast, right? Like it was very different when he joined. So to join in peacetime and then all of a sudden, bam, it's freaking game time, bitches, grab your guns.
Oh yeah, and it was crazy because like you'd come on base, right? And there was just somebody there who's just like wave you on, like, oh yeah, come on, you know? It didn't matter.
Oh, I bet
who you were.
like the security heightened.
Bro, like they had dogs, they had mirrors checking under all the cars,
Oh, yeah.
like 100% ID checks, and just
So how
nuts.
long after that happened did you get shipped off?
So obviously that was in September. I think I ended up at Barksdale in February of the following year. And then in 2003, I deployed in support of Iraqi freedom. Air Force, right? Isaac can hate all he wants, but my deployment was to Guam. It was terrible. I tell you what, 4-hour work days.
People. I got you. I know.
Oh, I love it.
All right now.
You know, the greeting is half a day because that's all they work.
Yeah.
You know, half a day.
Wait a minute. You got deployed
to Guam.
Oh, gotcha. So you didn't.
So,
did you go to Guam and then?
No. So remember, I'm a V-52 guy, right? Yeah. So there's no need for us to be in country, right? Air Force, we send our officers to war.
Right.
Right?
Right.
We're the only branch that does that. Like, the smart guys stay on the ground, and then we send the officers.
But I thought officers were people who graduated from college.
Of course. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, but they're the pilots, right? They're the ones that are flying the airplanes.
That's right.
Right?
Damn.
And so it was actually pretty crazy. So I had orders to Iraq originally, and to do what's called TCN duty, which is third country national duty.
Yeah.
And basically you just go and you watch the Iraqis that are working on base. Okay. Right? But
like as babysitters?
Man, basically.
Okay.
You carry around a rifle.
Are you working?
You know what I mean?
What are you doing?
Yeah. And you got a radio, and you but at that time, Operation Shock and Awe, which is what kicked off the Iraq War, hadn't happened yet. Oh. So I got my anthrax.
I don't even know what that is. I just said, like I knew what the hell Shock and Awe was.
Yeah, I'll tell you. So I had done the anthrax vaccine because that was a thing back then, right?
I remember when anthrax was a thing everywhere.
Oh yeah,
all over the news. Yeah.
I used to jokingly tell people like, "Hey, I'll open your mail." Like,
dude, that was like real. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
don't even trip.
Yeah, I got
There's checks in here. I'm gonna keep them. They got anthrax on them.
But and so I went through the mobility line. I was all packed to go to Iraq, and the commander walked up and was like, "Hey, Commander-in-Chief has froze the pond. Everybody stateside, staying stateside. Everybody that's
over there,
staying over there. So just go home, show up at work tomorrow." I was like, "Well, okay." So I go home. Well, then I get a call from my first sergeant. He's like, "Hey, man, you're deploying tomorrow." I was like, I don't know if you heard.
Did you get the memo?
The Commander-in-Chief froze the pond, right? So ain't nobody deploying nowhere, right? And he goes, "Oh, no, you are deploying." And I go, "Well, where am I going?" He goes, "I can't tell you that."
Of course.
I said, "Well, I need to know. Like, I'm packed for the desert."
Right.
Right? I got desert camo.
Yeah, you didn't have shorts, flip-flops.
No.
You weren't ready to go to Guam.
Right.
I got you.
Yeah. And so,
my bad.
I said, I at least need to know, like, am I wearing BDUs or am I using, like, desert camo, right? I was like, "Oh, yeah, you might want to know that. Yeah, you want BDUs, right?" I'm like, "All right."
What the hell does BDU stand for?
Battle dress uniform.
Oh,
so it's the camouflage.
Okay.
Like the old school, because I was
old.
Gotcha. You know what I mean? It's like I got all packed and stuff, and I turned on CNN, and it was like B-52 is leaving to Guam, and I was like, I must be going to Guam. You know?
It's cool. The news knew before me.
Right. I'm like, my first sergeant couldn't tell me.
That's like the worst thing we do in America.
Oh, dude.
We love to tell all of our enemies what's about to happen
before
we know what's about to happen.
Literally.
Yeah.
Like, I lived it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so, like, I was part of a training squadron, so we trained all the new pilots. And so,
like, did you have like one of like those like virtual reality B-50?
No.
Like you actually got in the plane and.
Well, I didn't.
No, the pilots.
Yeah.
So how do you?
So I was part of the 11th Bomb Squadron.
So you're not a pilot.
No, I was a maintainer. So I was in charge of all of the maintenance that happened for.
Gotcha. But could you fly the B-52?
No.
So how do you train someone?
I didn't.
Oh, gotcha.
No, I just maintained the airplane, but my squadron would train them.
Oh,
right?
okay.
And so it wasn't normal for us to deploy.
Right.
Being part of the training squadron. Well, I was ready to deploy to Iraq, right? And so one of the guys from the 20th Bomb Squadron got in a car accident, and he couldn't deploy. So they were like, "Hey, well, we got a guy already that's ready to go." Right? So that's how I ended up deploying with a different squadron. So I didn't know any of them.
That is a blessing.
It was a blessing.
But it was a blessing like, oh, I'm going to Guam? Shit.
Oh, yeah. And so we went over to Guam.
How long were you there?
6 or 8 months.
Oh snap!
But we were there
6
for
or 8
like
months in paradise.
we were like
done,
it was terrible,
horrible.
So I was there for like 3 or 4 months, and like when you're not at war, you play war, right?
Right.
But they like
Wait,
to do really.
time out. Did you say if you're not at war, you play war?
We got to train, right? You got to be ready for war, right?
In
And
Guam,
so
in flip flops.
So I was in Guam,
Gotcha.
basically in flip flops.
Okay.
You know, having.
Have you ever seen that Cat Williams special? Where he is like, "Can anyone tell me what an insurgent looks like? Anyone? I'm waiting." He was like, "They're in flip flops."
Oh yeah, yeah. So, well, we were having typhoon parties, right? Like, cause we're drunk and dumb and right.
Yeah,
like
of course.
Checking out volleyballs from the rec center, and like you throw it up to serve it, and you know,
I'm with you.
yeah, having a good time,
Yeah.
right? And none of us know why we're there, right? And so like,
Wait, you didn't do not one maintenance?
oh no, we were on the flight line for
Yeah.
about 4 hours a day.
Okay, doing nothing.
Well, so they decided that we were gonna fly 54 sorties in 3 days with 6 B-52s.
Is that a lot?
That is a metric fuck ton.
Oh.
It would be
A
the
me-
quantity.
it's not just a lot. It's a metric fuck ton of a lot.
So remember, these airplanes, like the last one rolled off of the.
Do we even use B-52 bombers
We do.
anymore? Oh shit,
We do.
Okay.
But they haven't been manufactured since the 60s.
Yeah.
So to fly multiple sorties with one airplane over a 3-day period is stupid,
Right.
right? So we did 54.
Especially when they don't make them anymore.
Right. We did 54 flights in 3 days with 6 B-52s, just because we had nothing better to do.
How many maintenance people were a part of like your crew?
There's probably about 30 of us.
Gee, they needed 30 for something
Oh.
because you might have to make a new B-52 bomber. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Because they don't make them no more.
Manufacture it, you know what I mean? So,
We need 30 of you just in case we need to rebuild this.
one, so like, of course, I got in some trouble. I was there, right? Drinking age is 18, right?
In Guam.
Yeah.
Got
so
it.
I
you were really in paradise.
Oh, I had a great.
Well, I feel like when you're in the military, you drink at 18 anyways.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
At 17. For
I
me.
mean, 21 for the law enforcement people watching this
21,
episode.
Can you do something? No, but and so one day I went out and got on a crew bus, and they were like, "Oh, hey, chief, we're taking this airplane." I was like, "No, you're not. That airplane has bombs on it, right?" And they're
That
like,
one's ready for war.
yeah, and they're like, "No, like that's what we're doing," and I was like, "Hold on a second." Get off, and I would call the line driver or who runs the flight line. Like, hey, they told me they're changing over this tail number. Like,
Yeah, that one's locked and
it's
loaded.
loaded.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh yeah, I forgot to tell you. I was like, I mean, that's minor detail.
Yeah, just
Like, I needed to through flight inspect it. Like, you know what I mean?
dude accidentally pressed the wrong button, blow up Guam.
Right.
Who knows? Go.
And so I get back on the crew bus. I was like, well, I guess you're taking that plane. I need a little bit of time. I got to check air pressures and do all the, because I didn't.
Right.
And I was like, where y'all going? And they're like, oh, well, of course, we can't tell you.
Oh, of course.
But when you get back to lodging,
And you turn on the TV.
turn on, he literally says, turn on CNN and watch the fireworks. I'm like, okay. He goes, and if you have anything that you want to tell Saddam Hussein, go ahead and go out there and write it on. So, of course, we get out there with Sharpies and stuff. Where, fuck you and sheep fucker and,
Yeah.
all the stuff, And then we get back to lodging and turn it on. And it's like, the U.S. has launched Operation Shock and Awe and bombing Baghdad.
Oh, shit.
And so it was wild. Like, I was like, oh, I guess that's why we're here.
In Guam.
The majority of the flights, all but that one, were out of Diego Garcia. But they just needed one more airplane for that mission. So they flew one out of Guam for it. So we spent the rest of the time there flying B-52s over the border of North Korea,
Yeah.
right? Because as Trump called it, the little rocket man or whatever.
Man. Let them know we're here.
Let them know we're here, right? And so every day we'd have a B-52 take off with F-16 escorts, and we were just constantly flying, right? Because it's chess, not checkers, right?
Exactly.
So we're like, hey, just because we're bombing over here doesn't mean,
We ain't ready.
yeah,
We ready.
yeah. And so
Dang. So then you did you finish out your time in Guam, or did you get?
No, I came home. I spent some time as a non-commissioned officer in charge of, like, I would do military honors funerals and stuff, right? So, like, if you ever seen one, the guy that gets down on a knee and hands the flag over,
Yeah.
that was me.
Oh, dope.
Right? So I did a couple.
I say dope, but that's.
I never did one without crying.
Yeah, that's a very
Never.
sad.
Yeah.
It's an honor to do it. I bet.
Oh, for
right?
sure.
To
Yeah,
represent,
so I spent some time as the NCOIC of the Honor Guard, and then still you go there for 2 weeks, and then you do your regular job for 2 weeks off and on. And I got diagnosed with narcolepsy. So like, if you see Mr. Bean, like he just falls
falling
asleep.
asleep.
Yeah, or the other popular one
I
was
just sat here and was like, narcolepsy, epilepsy,
Deuce Bigelow.
Okay. Male gigolo.
The one where he has to like tie her head back so
Yes.
she can eat soup. Narcolepsy.
Wait, are you still diagnosed with narcolepsy?
100%.
Holy, we might witness him fall asleep.
You
during this
won't.
Oh, damn.
Damn. I promise. Shout out to
Did you take some
nootropics.
He said, I slammed some Rhino Rush before this.
I did. I didn't pour it in my water. I drank one of each before
Wise
the
man.
podcast.
Wait, one of each ephedra and nootropic?
Yeah.
That's a great time to plug. This show is brought to you by Rhino Rush Energy. All herbal stimulant based on the ephedra side and nootropic on the other side. Okay, back to our show.
But so they were gonna med board me, like, and kick me out.
Oh, so you got narcolepsy while you were in. Okay.
And so
I'm sorry, bro. How do you just get did something happen?
so they say there's two ways to get it. One is hereditary, which nobody in my family has it.
Okay.
The other way is shift work. And so as a crew chief,
Like working shifts,
as a crew chief, right? Like I'd come in at Sunday night at midnight
right?
or Monday morning, and I would pre-flight my airplane, right? And then I would launch it in the morning, and then I'd come back at like 3 or whatever in the afternoon, work till 11, then come back the next day at 7 in the morning, right? So it messed up my inner clock.
Like your internal clock.
Yeah,
Holy! How long did you do that for?
a few years.
Oh, okay.
Like,
Wait, so if anyone did something similar to like that shift, they could potentially end up with
yeah.
narcolepsy?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Be careful, yo.
Yeah,
Jeez, I didn't
The
even know
hell
it
is
was a
shift work?
thing.
Yeah, it was crazy because like
Wait, time out. When did you? So, what happened to make you go to the doctors to realize you had narcolepsy?
so I would go to work, right? Get off at like 11:15 at night. I'd go home, go straight to bed, and then I would oversleep and not make it to work at 3 o'clock the next day, right?
So you said midnight, get the plane off.
So
how long were you there?
So
like
it
3
it
hours,
all
3 or 4
depended,
hours?
right?
Oh.
Like once in a while, like so you could get put on a steady shift, right? So at that time I was on a steady shift.
Oh,
so I
shit.
was working 3:15 in the afternoon to 11:15 at night.
Okay.
I'd get off at 11:15. I'd go home, go to bed,
And miss
work the next day, so, asleep,
Oh shit.
right? And so I had to go get sleep studies and all kinds of stuff. And I would have real vivid dreams, like
You
that
were working?
I would think I was working.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
I've heard about like people had like super vivid dreams, like they think they're working, and so they're not going to wake up because they think they're doing their job.
Yeah.
Oh shit, that's real.
It's real.
Okay.
Yeah. And then the other thing that's
Wait,
super
so but
scary.
did you fall asleep during
Oh yeah.
like work? Like, Like be in the middle of a conversation and
Not in the middle of a conversation, but like, so sometimes like you'd fire up all 8 engines, right? And if you ever watch the videos, like the guys on the ground that are waving that was me, right?
Oh shit.
And so like I'd climb up in the wheel well while I was waiting for the plane to go, and I'd just fall asleep
No way.
in the wheel well with eight jet engines running.
Oh shit. You ever had them drive off with you in there?
No.
Okay. Good.
No.
You
But they'd
probably
be
wouldn't
like,
be here if that was a thing.
they'd be like, Chief, hey, Chief, on the headset. I'd be like, oh yeah, what's up?
What's up? What are you
Like-
doing in there? Oh
like-
man, I'm just checking a few things.
Yeah, like, oh, we're ready to go. I'm like, oh, cool. Yeah.
So you would just fall asleep.
Oh yeah. In the work truck.
And like jet engines aren't quiet.
No. Especially not 8 of them.
Yeah. Yeah. Damn.
Yeah. I just get up to take a nap in the
So
wheel
you figure out after all these sleep studies you got narcolepsy.
well. Yeah. And so they were trying to do med board, right? I had every intention of being in the Air Force forever, right? I had a line number for staff sergeant when I was 20 years old, which in the Air Force is unheard of, right? Like I was
my brother was. There's no such thing as a master staff sergeant, is there?
no master sergeant,
Master
so
sergeant.
staff sergeant, tech sergeant, master sergeant.
So he became a master sergeant right before he retired.
Yeah, and so it's slow to promote, right? So I had a line number for E5 when I was 20, which is unheard of, right?
Yeah.
Like I was what they called a shit hot airman, right? Like I was good at my job.
He was good.
And so they were trying to med board me and kick me out because of the narcolepsy.
Yeah.
And so I was like, man, I got to figure this out. So I applied for recruiting duty because it was a special duty assignment. So you got to submit like a full length photo and your uniform and all this stuff. And I was honor guard, so I already had all the stuff together.
You were sharp already.
Yeah. And so I got approved for recruiting duty. And so
Did you become a recruiter here?
I was a recruiter in Albany, Oregon.
Okay. Where the hell is Albany, Oregon?
You know where Salem is?
I'll play your game.
You know where Portland is?
Yes.
2 hours south.
All right. Perfect. That's good.
But yeah, so we just I went and was a recruiter for a couple years.
So became a recruiter.
Yeah, I volunteered for Orders to Iraq again because I was going through a divorce.
Yeah.
And so we were helping Iraq recruit their army.
Oh shit.
So I volunteered for Orders to Iraq so I could just get the hell out for a while, And I didn't get medically
I would do
cleared
the same thing.
because of the narcolepsy.
Right.
And they ended up med boarding me and kicking me out.
Well, then that leads us to the next part.
There you go.
You have 2A Customs,
Yep.
which you do printing and apparel, right?
Mm-hmm.
But for a lot, especially with just knowing Isaac, right, and the Veterans Entrepreneur Alliance, and how difficult it is for a lot of vets to go down that route of becoming an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
What was the drive that allowed you to want to become an entrepreneur, and then today have such an amazing, successful company? But what got you to the point where you're like, I don't want to work for nobody, I'm about to start my own shit?
So I know there's a lot of vets out there that can relate to what I'm about to say, right?
I'm sure.
It's difficult to work for other people, right? I was Staff Sergeant White. What
Don't
I
say
said
that out loud, dog. My employees might hear you.
But I was Staff Sergeant White. If I said, hey, we're going to go do this, I meant we're going to go do this.
Yeah, especially when you were in a higher ranking position, and
Right.
now you're,
And so I struggled in the workforce for a long time, right? I became a licensed social worker, and so I did social work. I was I worked for a hospice agency for a couple of years and worked my way up to being the director of a hospice agency. And I actually met my wife. I went and I was the social
brains of
services
the
director.
operation.
She is the brains of the operation and the beauty of the operation.
Amen.
But so I met her. I took a job here in Boise.
It's Boise. Like I see you.
I believe you.
No, that you have to say Boise.
Boise.
If you are watching this podcast and I ever see you in real life and you say Boise, I swear.
I'm just going to start calling it Le Bois.
Oh.
But I didn't fit in there either, right? It was
Yeah.
a Mormon-run company. I'm covered in tattoos. You know?
Me too.
And so her and I quit there, and I told everybody I was biker retired.
Biker retired?
Yeah. Meaning, like, I would just do enough work to...
Oh, shit. I thought you were like biker retired, like Hell's Angels, or like, I was damn.
At the time, I was Brother Speed.
Oh, shit. Okay, like real biker retired. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And so I would just do enough work to ride motorcycles and
chill.
and get by. And so I started a little construction company, and 2A started in a real kind of weird way. Like, my construction company was going well, but I owed somebody a Christmas present in August from the prior year. And so I told my
this
wife,
is getting good.
I told my wife, I said, hey, I'm going to buy a laser because I owe Doug a Christmas present. And she's like, what? And I'm like, I just need to buy a laser. So I bought a laser, made him his Christmas present. And then I started kind of making projects for other people and doing like wood rounds and all kinds of stuff with this laser. And I finally told her, I was like, hey, I need to like start a business because we're getting so many orders and stuff for this. And so I started a business. So 2A wasn't intentionally, or like initially it wasn't meant to be what it is now.
Right.
Right. It was just kind of a side thing, a passion project,
Fun,
we'll
yeah,
call
yeah.
it. Right. And we started looking into making shirts and stuff, and got a phone call, and somebody's like, "Hey, I'll pay $22 to make me 100 shirt, or $22 a shirt to make 100 shirts." I was like, "I guess we make shirts now."
Yes. Whatever you need, homie.
You know,
That is customer service.
that is customer service. And so we got into the shirt side of it and all that kind of stuff. And in the meantime, had some struggles with construction.
Yeah.
Right. That's a tough industry.
Oh,
right. People paying net 90s and.
Well, especially with especially now, right? With Idaho booming the way it is,
Oh, yeah.
like now a lot of the developers and new homeowners, the leverage is on their side of the fence.
Oh yeah, yeah. So we shut down my construction company this last September or so,
Oh shit.
and I just
Was
started,
it 2A construction?
No, it was Integrated Structures Incorporated was what it was
okay.
called, and so I just started focusing on 2A full time, and so and continued to grow it to
Yeah.
the point now where my wife retired from nursing,
Amen.
and now she's doing 2A with me full time.
There you go.
And now it's grown into, I mean, it's our full time.
Growing into a monster.
Yeah, it's not. It's definitely not your
It's a passion project turned into a real job.
to a real,
Yeah.
a real company.
That's
you know?
amazing.
Yeah, and so now we're doing.
I always love those stories where like passion projects, because the goal in life is always to wake up and work, or wake up and go to work, but get paid to have fun.
Yeah.
And get paid to do what you love.
Yeah, and I don't know anybody that's having more fun.
I'm telling. Well, there's not. There's not a lot of people that
There's
get
not.
to wake up and get paid to do what they love.
Yeah, yeah, and so, I'd be lying to you if I told you like promotional items is my passion, right? Because it's not.
No.
What I love is
Because
having
vendors are assholes.
absolutely.
Have you met
they are.
Drift Drop?
I have, man. They're like one of my biggest customers.
They're assholes.
Assholes. No, but it's to me it provides the freedom to not have a boss other than my wife. Right.
Or she's your boss, whether you were 2A or not.
I do joke and tell her that she's my boss, not my manager. But she's both in real life.
All of them. Yeah, all of them.
But
I wish I could tell my wife that.
it provides an opportunity, right, for us to be home, for us to spend time with our family.
Oh, yeah.
Our daughter. We get to spend a lot of time with Charlie.
Oh, daughters.
Yeah.
Oh, daughters.
Yeah. You just got to travel for yours.
Man, I'm telling you, dog. For those who have children who play elite anything, it's a passion project in itself.
It is.
It's a passion. It's a blessing, right?
Yeah.
Especially the same for you, right? The opportunity to be able to spend time with your kid and with your wife, and be able to do things with your family. Like it's just a blessing. And I do a lot of that with my kid. And
Yeah.
it's a lot. It's fun.
It is.
Though. It's a
It
lot.
is. And I wouldn't have it any other way now,
You can't go back.
No. So things started to look a little more scary, right? Like,
Well, that is the foundation in which entrepreneurship
Right.
is, right? Is
Yeah,
that you're
for
not
sure.
promised that it's going to be
No.
a solid foundation. Every day you're adding bricks.
yeah. And so I started thinking about like getting a job and what that would look like. And I was just like, no.
No. But that's what I love about the entrepreneur spirit, right? Is that you either have to get to a point where you refuse to quit
Right.
or you quit,
Yeah.
right?
Well, we got to the point where as a one-man show, like I felt like I hit a ceiling.
Yep.
Right. And I finally told Jenna, like, hey, your nursing job, while it was fantastic for us for 2 years, right? It's now
It's in the
costing
way.
us.
Yeah.
Yeah. I said, I really could use you home,
Yep.
right? Because I can't do all the sales, do all the back end, do all the production,
Yep.
right? I need
Manage all the finances, do this,
Yeah,
get
yeah.
new projects up and running, find new vendors.
right,
Yeah.
right. And so we're in the process now because she's just been home now for a couple weeks with me
Yeah.
of her learning some of the processes and refining processes. And
Is she about to become our new account manager?
she, if you're lucky,
With Day Day.
but yeah, so, like that. And that's the thing, right? Is either we had to let 2A go,
Yep.
and she could stay nursing,
Yep.
and I would go find a job, or we
Two
burn the
you
boats.
could combine forces and,
Right.
and turn this passion project into something that will be a legacy for you, for your kids.
Right.
That's amazing.
Yeah, yeah, and I mean, truly, that's what I envisioned when I started it as a company. Right, was something to grow for our daughter,
Yep.
because by the time she's done with college and whatever,
Well, dude, we're responsible for teaching our kids either the work ethic
Yeah.
that they're going to have in the future, right? And giving them the ammunition, right, to become entrepreneurs. That's the
Right.
future, right?
Oh, yeah,
Our
yeah.
children growing up and learning how to become business owners or CEOs, that all starts with us,
oh, for sure.
right? It all starts with us not quitting, not giving up, right? When those
Yeah.
nights where we got to eat top ramen, buckle up, baby. We're eating top
Yeah,
ramen tonight.
we've done that for a few months.
And my daughter eats a lot of it because her daddy spent a lot of time in prison, and
Yeah.
I make a lot of prison spreads. And so now me and my daughter have competitions on who makes the best prison spread.
That's what I'm talking about.
I'm telling you, she's
Yeah.
pretty good actually. She's
We
pretty good.
actually kind of had a fun conversation, my daughter and I, the other day, because she came in and I was pressing shirts and stuff. We had this shirt go viral on TikTok, right? So it's taken a lot of time, and so I'm pressing these shirts, and she comes in and she was like, "Hey, oh, there it is.
This
That's the
shirt,
one.
this one.
Group of guys got him." But
That is one of the funniest TikToks.
it's so rad. It's so rad. But she came in and she was like, "Hey, I realized that if I wanted to start a small business, like I've got everything I need." I said, "What do you mean?" And she goes, "Well, like a label printer and stuff, like to ship everything out and blah, blah, blah." And I said, "Oh, you have that?"
Yeah.
She's like, "Well, yeah." I said, "You don't have that."
Not yet.
2A has that, right? I said, well, we could work something out, right?
yeah.
But just trying to get her
There's
to
costs
understand.
associated with utilizing
Right.
the equipment.
Yeah, and so I just wanted her to understand, like, it's not right. If you're going to be an entrepreneur, you gotta learn all that.
That's it.
And so,
That's freaking amazing, bro. Like I love that for you.
yeah,
Right. And the whole purpose of this podcast is we have amazing people in our community, right? And Drip Drop, of course, second chance. But beyond that, right, our ability to do community outreach, right? And I don't know how many people in Idaho are going to watch this podcast, but being able to be introduced to you and where you came from and what you're building and the fact that it's you, your wife, your daughter. Who doesn't want to support that?
oh yeah,
Who doesn't want to be a part of knowing that they get to bless you and your family and buy things from you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like that's what this is for.
yeah, yeah,
Right. And so I love that.
yeah. It's been awesome. Like, I was in my office a couple months ago working, and she came in and she goes, "Hey, I need to talk to you." I said, "Oh, what's up?" And she hands me a little ID that she had made, like a driver's license, and hands me a resume she made. And she said, "I would like to interview with 2A to come and work for you."
Oh,
And I was like, "Well, I'm a little busy right now, but we can schedule it. How about you come back at 1:30 and I'll give you an interview."
yeah.
You know what I mean? And so it's teaching her, like,
I hope my kid watches
that.
this podcast.
it's
You know
teaching
what
her
I'm
all that kind of stuff. Now, I will tell you that it doesn't have the happiest of endings, right? I did hire her. She came and worked 1 hour. I still have her time card hanging up on the wall. But
saying? At least you got an hour out of her.
oh yeah, yeah. And so
1 hour turns to 2, 2 turns to 8.
well, and it gave us an opportunity to go through, like, an onboarding process. Like, hey, you're hired.
Wait, does she have her own email and everything?
Not yet.
Okay.
She, if I rehire her, then she'll get one.
Wait, did you fire her?
Oh, absolutely.
Yes. That's amazing.
So,
Oh,
but now she's been circling back around, right? Like, hey, is there something I can do for 2A? Hey, is there
Yeah.
and so
we're gonna have to do the rehiring process. I have an availability at 2:30
yeah,
to do another
that's
interview.
what we're gonna have to do.
So 2A, and we met you through Isaac,
Yeah.
of course, at VEA, and you do a lot of our stuff,
Yep.
right? A lot of our apparel.
I think you might be wearing that hoodie that I did.
I'm telling you, dog.
Yeah,
I was supposed to have a couple more, but
they're on
you
their
know what
way.
I'm saying. But we are our drip drops. We are in such an amazing position, right? Just as a company and the things that we do and places we go and the shows we do, right? And so you got to come and enjoy one of the events.
I did.
And the shows we did.
It was incredible.
What was your experience?
Man, so a couple months ago, Day was like, hey, can you make this NFL Hall of Fame jacket? I was like, yeah. He goes, okay, just let me know in a week or something. And I was like, I told you, yeah.
Right.
I'll do it.
For those who don't know, the Counterculture Events Hall of Fame jacket was created by this young man.
And so he even called me a couple weeks later. He's like, hey, so I just wanted to check. You're going to be, I'm like, yes.
We're on it.
Yeah, I got you. And which ended up being a really cool project, right? Talk about custom creations.
Really cool jacket.
Yeah, I had custom buttons made,
buttons,
lining. I made the patch for it. Like
it was dope.
Yeah,
it had CCA buttons. It was slick.
It was one of the coolest projects I've done. Right. And so we got down to Vegas. I had some trials and tribulations, we'll call it, falling into cactuses and
right,
all that kind of stuff.
What did you think about the CCAs?
The CCAs was incredible, right? Like we went through the VIP entrance, so I didn't go, and I didn't know that the jacket was up front.
Yeah.
And so Damien was like, "Hey, did you see your jacket up front?" I was like, "What?"
Yeah.
He's like, "Yeah, your jacket's up front." I was like, "What?" No. So I went up and saw it, right? And I didn't realize, right? Just call it ignorant, call it whatever you want, right? But I didn't realize how big that was going to be.
Oh yeah.
Not just the jacket, but the awards and everything, right? And so, like when I started seeing
I didn't either.
When I saw the video of like the jacket on display at Champs, I was like, that's cool as hell.
That was dope,
right? And then it was on display.
That's history, baby. You were part of history,
yeah.
Right?
And then it was on display at the up front,
the
right?
Show,
And I was like, this is.
What do you think of Champs?
Champs was insane. Like, by the way, they initially denied my registration, remember? So,
cool thing we're registered.
I was going to say, yeah, good thing I'm part of Drip Drop. So, something that I don't know if I talked to you about it or not, but like a few months ago, I had done a little mini series on TikTok about Afro Man.
Oh.
And his house getting raided. Right? Did I tell you
that? A little bit. We didn't talk too much about it.
So we're talking to somebody upstairs, right? Because we're just kind of walking around, networking and stuff. And Jenna's like, hey, Lemon Pound Cake is playing and it sounds like it's live.
Oh, shit.
And I was like, what? And we're like, oh, excuse me, sorry. Like to the guy we're talking to, right? And we walk down.
Time out.
And Afro Man is performing upstairs at Champs, right? Well, this song Lemon Pound Cake isn't like super mainstream.
Right.
And so I'm singing it and I'm the only one in the crowd that knows it.
Right.
Right. And so like it catches Afro Man's attention and Jenna took some video and me and him are like singing it to each other. Right. And he's pointing at me and whatever. And I had made a Afro Man t-shirt a while back.
Oh yeah.
It said Afro Man for President 2020 Fro. And it had a lemon pound cake on it. So I showed him the picture. Right. And he's like, oh, you got to send that to me. So the gal with him, Sydney, was like, hey, he wanted me to give you his phone number. So never in a million years did I think I was going to go down to Champs and leave there with Afro Man's phone number.
Is it his real phone number?
It is his real phone number.
Damn, you've been texting back and forth with him?
You know it.
Ah.
So at some point, we talked about me doing an interview with him.
Oh, yeah.
About what's going on with the lawsuits and stuff with the raid and all that stuff, right? Of course, TikTok demonetized and took all the sound out of my videos, but...
Right.
You know,
you still got to kick it with
it with the Afro Man, and got a video of him and I like singing one of his songs together and stuff. But so Champs was
dope. It's been amazing because I the first Champs I went to was in 2012, and it was 1/16 of the size it is today, and so it's been super dope to just watch the industry continue to grow.
Yeah.
Right. And it was for me personally, right? I know for us as a company, I think the opportunity to put together the Counterculture Awards and honor the people in our industry, right, that are innovating, that are coming up with cool new things, that continue to invest in the industry. I think it was super awesome to create an award ceremony for that.
And people that don't know what Champs is or like how big this is, right? Like
they don't.
Seth Rogen was there, Mike Tyson was there.
Floyd Mayweather,
Pitbull,
Dan Bilzerian.
I mean, I had no idea that was a thing.
It's crazy because I think that as cannabis continues to grow, which it is, right, the industry continues to grow, right, because more people are interested in plant-based solutions to their ailments than,
for sure.
than you know what I'm saying. And so it's super amazing to watch it grow. It's super amazing to watch the innovation, but there also is a lot of shitty people in the industry that are going to get away with it once, and I've watched them come and go.
Yeah.
But I was happy you got to come experience it because I think just for you, right, especially in the business you're in and in the industry that we're in, right, apparel and everything is so important to us. How we swag out, right, what our drip looks like, what we're able to send to our customers, and what consumers are rocking is so important to us.
Yeah.
And so for you to be able to come and see the type of companies, right, that are there that need something that you're making, especially custom, right? You built a custom Hall of Fame jacket.
Yeah.
All these, and everyone in our industry is down for custom creations.
And it's like you said, right? Like you said, just tell people like, hey, I made the Hall of Fame jacket, or hey, I do Drip Drops merch, right? And I couldn't tell you how many people I talked to, and they're like, oh yeah, we got a merch guy, and I was like, oh cool, well, I do Drip Drops merch, right? Like if anything changes, oh, you do Drip Drops? Like, yeah. Oh, you made the jacket?
We're not that big, I swear.
You made the jacket? Yeah. Well, we need your info, right?
Yeah.
And so,
I'm a fan of this. Listen, blessings are always given to us, right? Someone else has shared a blessing, and it's not your job or your position to ever hold or try to keep that blessing, right? You have to continue to pass that blessing on. It's a ripple effect. Right. So I thought it was super awesome that you got to come and enjoy Champs and grow, right, this nest egg that you are continuing to grow, and I'm just super happy that I got to bless you and your wife.
And it was huge, man. I appreciate it so much.
You're welcome.
And we want to take you up on your offer. You said you want us to go to all the shows with you. We're in.
Yeah, you got it. Like I said, listen, you get to dictate how big you want this thing to go. Yeah. Right, and we're gonna go to these places, right, and we're gonna show off the way we look, right? The apparel we're wearing it comes from 2A, right? And so people see us, right? Our team's always in the same apparel. We're always rocking. We're always looking good. And so I think it's super awesome for you to be able to come in and help other companies that want to evolve to that stage of their team looking the same, their team always rocking the best apparel. It's cool I think it's important that you coming in helps them, right, to rise up to the occasion.
I will say that you guys were the best looking crew there.
Well, it's because I was there. You know what I'm saying?
And that crew neck.
Yeah, feel me? Listen, man, again, right, the whole purpose of this podcast was to draw eyes and draw attention, right? And I'm super proud of you for everything you've done. Thank you for your service, man. I think it is so amazing to see what you're doing with your family and where you're going. And we're on the ride with you. Right, we're on the ride with you to the finish line, and we're gonna help as much as we can help.
I appreciate it, man.
And support you as much as we can support you, as long as I keep getting apparel.
Of course you do.
As long as I keep them displaying.
Of course you do.
So, what's in store for 2024? We got to wrap this up. But what's in store for 2024 for 2A?
So 2024, we're looking at expansive, like explosive growth, right? Not just from Champs, but from the viral TikTok, right? We've got a mattress manufacturer that hit us up from the viral TikTok.
You're gonna start making mattresses?
We're not gonna make their mattresses, but they want to do a
custom creations now making pillow tops.
No, they want to do a brand that's like a living brand. So like it's going to be RV mattresses, but he's like, picture this, right? You're all sitting around a fire. Everybody's got their stuff, right? And you're drinking from a cup that's our brand. You're drinking, you got your s'more. You're making your s'mores on a stick that's our brand and blah, blah, blah. And I want you guys to be the one to make our cups and our shirts and
that'd be dope.
All that kind of stuff. So we're working with them to launch their brand over the next year, which that's a pretty big,
it's huge.
Big deal.
Yeah.
I won't say their name or anything yet because it's not launched yet, but we're helping them launch
it's
that.
Coming.
It's coming. March 10th, we got the Detach Apparel company. They're having their launch party. Yeah. And so we've been blessed to do all their print, all their shirts, their hats.
That's amazing.
We're doing Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu tape for them. We're doing rash guards for them. Like
Where does someone go to where do they go to be able to get some custom things made?
so the quickest and easiest way is to send us an email at 2acustomcreations@gmail.com.
Okay.
But we're on Facebook, 2A Custom Creations, Instagram, 2A Custom
Yep.
Creations, and our TikTok is blowing
Viral.
up. Yeah, it's viral right now.
Yeah.
Like I said, we got the mattress guys. We've got a company in Texas. We're going to do all their hats. We've got
Listen,
actually.
as you grow, don't forget about the small people in your life.
You
Okay,
keep telling
Don't
me
forget
that,
about the
bro.
small
We're doing it
people.
together.
All right.
So, J-Bone, we talked today. We might be launching a whole clothing line for him.
That would be hilarious.
So he wants to do golf apparel. So I'm like, I'm
That's
in.
smart.
But and we went to other trade shows while we were in Vegas.
Yeah.
Right. So we went like to Magic Sourcing Show, which is
yeah.
the biggest
Sourcing
event
yeah.
in the world. So we're talking to Walmart right now. We're talking to Amazon. Like it's
We just poured gasoline on it. It's game time.
Big time.
That's dope.
Big time.
I'm so happy for you, bro. That's
Yeah.
freaking. That is again, it's the ripple effect, the blessing that keeps blessing.
Yeah. We're going back actually to Vegas March 5th, 6th, something like that. There's another trade show down there that we're going to go to.
I'm at a trade show that same time.
I think it's called ASD or something like
Oh
that.
yeah. Asia Source Direct.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
we're
it's
going to go to
the
that
largest general merchandise trade show in the country.
one. There you go. So we're going to that one. I looked at their education stuff, and so we're going to go and sit in classes. And
Yeah, we used to go to that show all the time. We don't go
really?
there anymore. Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, so they go to acustomcreations.com.
2acustomcreations.com is live.
Live.
I developed that website in about 10 minutes at 1 a.m. one night.
Yes.
But it'll at least tell you how to get a hold of us.
Okay.
So
Well, listen, you want the best apparel, you want the best attention to detail, you want something custom, you want it done right. This is the man right here.
I
Really,
appreciate
the brains is
sitting over there.
sitting over
but-
there. So do me a favor, like, follow, subscribe at Drip Drop Distro, and you can also listen to the podcast on Apple, Spotify, or YouTube. Don't you have a podcast coming out soon?
I've been kicking it around. Yeah,
Okay.
we're looking at it.
Don't listen. You're already 10 times our size, Kay. Don't launch a
Get outta
podcast.
here.
and make
No,
us
the
look-
the podcast that we're actually looking at doing is to highlight local companies,
Huh.
right, that we do business with. So,
Well, I like that.
like, it's going to either be once a
Sounds
month.
very familiar.
Doesn't it? Yeah. So we really got our start in the contractor space.
Yeah.
Right. So we do a lot of like landscaping companies. We do a lot of builders and stuff like that. And so originally it was kind of going to be focused on them, but
Yeah.
now we're doing like Idaho Food Bank,
Oh, that's dope.
and we're
Well,
and
I don't think there's enough of it. I
No,
don't
I
think
don't
there's
think so
enough Idaho, loving on Idaho, right? Because if you go back, like 10 years, right? Buy Idaho was like real.
yeah.
Like stuff that was made here, companies that are from here is everything, right? Actually, longer than that. I think when Albertsons sold to Super Value and moved to Minnesota,
Yeah.
a lot of like the proud to be Idaho, right? And I think it's
Kinda
coming
went
back.
with it.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And so it's going to take us to keep drawing attention to it and keep our foot on the gas of, hey, let's keep supporting each other and blessing each other.
That doesn't mean that we won't work with you no matter where you're at in the world, right?
Oh, yeah,
We've been shipping to Iceland, Germany, Australia,
Dude.
with
You're
our
already
viral
worldwide.
shirt. Yeah,
See,
with
I
our viral
told you.
shirt.
I told you, dog.
I know, but don't worry.
Don't forget about
I got
small
you.
people.
I got you. You're not small.
Well, listen, thank you for listening. We appreciate y'all. Stay tuned for more Chopping It Up with Motu, Community Edition. Rat.